not enter. Got it.
May I take a look? I have some experience with dimensional anomalies.
Sure.
Greetings! Welcome! How did you get in here?
Where exactly is, here?
Oh, you don't know? Well, I don't either. It appears to be a space between dimensions. Could be nothing. Could be a cascading entropic fissure that will soon turn the entire universe into a formless soup. Time will tell.
Oh. Oh dear. Well, I am Clank. Please allow me to help.
Right, yes, Clank. I am the all-seeing cosmic prophet of interdimensional sector 2255 phase Omega. But you can call me Gary. Here we are, Clank. Former warbot, teamed up with the Lombax. Became a hero. Ooh, good for you. Ooh, friend of my father. I see.
Your father?
You might just be the one I've been waiting for. Would you like to help me fix the dimensions?
You know how to fix the dimensions? And why are there copies of me running
Ratchet and
around?
Clank Rift Apart walkthrough. I am probably talking over quite a few NPCs right now, but you know what? Play the darn game if you want to listen to them. So this is a pretty hefty video when it comes to what we're doing. We're going to be playing for the first time exclusively as Clank, somewhat similar to Crack in Time where you had to use him to solve other puzzles, and we're going to have to do that in this game too. I used to think it was kind of cool having these puzzles in the game because it's not a whole lot of combat, it's just solving something. In this case, we have to get all of our other Clank versions into this giant wall, and we need like 7 or something like that. And we have to clear the way for them until they can blow up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it looks like 7. That's a weird number. Anyway, we need 7 of them to open up the wall, and we'll have to do that 3 times for each time that we're playing as Clank. However, if you push the start, or whatever they call it now, the menu button, if you push the start button, there's an option to skip the puzzle. And I've never pushed that, so I don't actually know what the implications are. I really doubt it punishes you in any way, but if you really are just having a hard time with these things, you can outright skip them, so why not? The idea behind these puzzles is that we have a couple of different orbs, I believe 4 of them in total. So one of them is going to be a speed orb, and we can plop that one down there and blow up some of those boxes, and our other versions can also be affected by speed. And then there's a lift spear that we're going to throw in front, and we need to speed up and lift our buddies over those saw blades. And once we get into this platform, we should be able to step on the button, and that will move that arrow so our buddies can actually go the correct direction. And that'll be room number 2, so the final room, which is of course usually the hardest one. Although I really didn't think any of these puzzles were too difficult. I was kind of hoping one of them would just be like really mind-bending, but for the most part all these puzzles were really easy, and that floating dinosaur guy does an extremely annoying job of letting you know what you're stuck at. Usually he'll let you know like, oh hey, you have a sphere uncollected as you're in the process of walking into it. You know, all the games today have to hold your hands so dang hard. Okay, so there's other spheres like this. I think that one's still a lift one. We can use those on objects like these presses, and that will lift it out of the way. And if you notice, we need to get the sphere back there. We probably shouldn't walk into it, because even if you just walk into that little tiny corner like I did, it'll still kill you. So we're going to lift it up and then go grab the sphere. Not really worry too much about what our guys are doing yet. And then we need to grab it again, and you can push and hold triangle to open up your sphere menu, and you can select your different menus there, your different spheres there. So this is also my first recording of these puzzles, so I'm not going to be doing them as efficiently as you likely could be. So I think here we need to pick up the speed sphere and then throw it down there so we can break open those boxes again, like we did in the second or first puzzle. I already forgot. And then over here, we're going to probably want to move the lift spear here so we can jump up and grab the final one.
I'm not interrupting your process, but I think there are more spheres left to find.
And you can pretty much throw these spheres into their spots from anywhere in this little arena. So you don't have to get too close to the orb locations to get them in there. Okay, so we have everything we need. We're going to use the lift spear on here to open up that press, and then we're going to hit the speed sphere down here with the lift one, the other lift one on the end. And then we're going to want to go step on the button and not fall off the edge. And then hopefully we can take a look at the door, and we should be able to see all the little buddies running into the door and opening it up for us. So next we're going to be fighting another boss.
Ratchet Clank, you repaired the anomaly, and now we're one step closer to stopping the dimensional cataclysm.
So then I says, listen, Mort, you, Mort, and Mort better hide that lemonade before Mort shows up.
Whoa! You saved them! How did you do that?
I am uncertain.
Rivet! How the heck are you?
Look who it is! You would not believe my luck today. My trip to Nefarious City went totally sideways. I wrecked my ship, and I...
You go on and leave that one to old Mort. Well, assuming you brought that part I asked for, I'll have this old thing in ship shape.
Grunthor, a boss we will be seeing very frequently throughout this game, and the hardest time you'll have fighting him is probably the first time, so upgrade your weapons, buy a new one if you can, do whatever that is before you come down here, and then as soon as we come here, here he is. So I think the first time you fight him will be the hardest just because you don't know what his moves are. I think I died once or twice against him, so happy transition day, here he is again. And later on, we're going to have way more weapons that make him just like an easy cakewalk of a boss, but for now, we're going to have to actually try a little bit. So I'm using whatever this glove of explosions weapon is that does a pretty decent amount of damage. Looks like 4%-ish. Just make sure they all hit. Mr. Fun Guy, who I'm using incorrectly here because I keep thinking I can open up more of him, but you can only have one spawned at first, so I wasted 2 ammo, whatever. And then the Negation Collider, which I really like this weapon, but I also think it's pretty underpowered. So Grunthor is going to love charging you. He's going to pick up boulders and toss them at you. And the game is set up to where you really should try to dodge stuff when it's about to hit you, not when it's in the middle of the beginning, because those projectiles and attacks will turn toward you and hit you anyway, as we saw right there. So I'm running out of ammo here, and there's also other enemies attacking me, but I should get him killed pretty quick. I think I got cut it pretty close here. Just go left or right if he charges you, and then that'll be the first time we have to fight him in this video. But before we get to the second Grunthor of Sargasso, we're going to work on clearing out some of these enemies here, and then going into an area that we can get to by going onto these buttons. And we're just going to push all 3 of them, and then that should activate the elevator. Yep. And we'll climb onto the elevator and then work our way over here. So I can't actually remember if this is required of us or not. There's some health up here, and this might be required. I don't know. Whatever it is, we gotta get it done. So there's a bunch of enemies, and more enemies are gonna spawn. So something else that I probably am going to mention more than once is that it's pretty important in this game just to stay moving. If you're staying in one spot, yes, okay, never mind. I do change my mind. This is in fact required for the quest, because we have to come here to lower the bridge. I remember now. Anyway, you want to stay moving because sitting still is just a really good way to get a ton of fire put on you. And sometimes it's hard to move because it just feels like you're in like a bad luck cycle you can't break out of, where everywhere you walk or stand still or jump to or dodge to or whatever, everywhere you go you get hit, and then you end up dying because of it, and then you repeat the encounter, and then you take like no damage because you're not in that bad luck cycle. So I kind of felt like I was in a bad luck cycle there at the beginning, and I think I've broken out of it now because I had a couple of seconds for the game, gave me a couple of seconds to reset here. And now we just have to deal with more of these little enemies and, of course, the firing goons. And they are just going to be shooting tons of these projectiles at you. And part of the reason, like, it might look like I'm getting hit a lot, and I am, but, like, man, I tell you, playing this game in 4K with just the sheer amount of detail it's got, and the projectiles are sometimes pretty small when I'm sitting far enough back in my living room playing this game, it's like hard to see everything on the screen at once while I'm playing, you know. It looks weird that I'm getting hit by everything in the video now, but when I was playing this, I do remember I'm like, holy cow, I have to pay attention to 3 different enemies, and I have to manage my weapons, and I have to watch my ammo, and I have to aim on the controller, which I feel like is fighting me at every second because of all this haptic feedback stuff Sony added into it. And also, I'm not used to this game. Right there is a bad luck cycle I was talking about. I just got hit by a ton of stuff, and then final hit there that hit me off screen. I really thought I was gonna die here, but I'm pretty sure I kept it alive the whole time. And these flying guys are probably the more annoying of the goons, but that's okay. That one is flying around somewhere, don't really know where he's going. I'm looking around for ammo and of course for more health, but I'm pretty sure I collected all the health already. And then we're gonna run on over to this grappling point, try to head on over to the other side, and finally kill the last guy. Which is pretty convenient because that's right where we need to be.
Now to lower the bridge. Come on, bridge. Seriously?
Okay, so the bridge is not anywhere near complete. That's okay though. We'll take the elevator back down, and then we're gonna get on a scuttlepeed or whatever the thing is called. Let's see if I can catch the name now. Yes, no, not yet. No name. Okay, whatever. And we're just gonna dash on over here, and then there will be another Grunthor. So I also think I died to this guy, and I probably should have gone and bought ammo, and that was part of the reason I died. I completely ran out of ammo, and I only had 6 health left. So we're going to transition that away, and we'll come back to the beginning. So everything's gonna blow up for some reason, and then we'll try to take out these little frogs first, and then soon after they're dead, the Grunthor should spawn here. Got a nice blaster level up. Sometimes dying is kind of a good thing because it gives you more of a chance to level up your weapons. And again, I am totally incorrectly using Mr. Fun Guy. We'll just pretend I know what I'm doing, and we're going to deal more with the Grunthor. So that was a charge he'll do. I didn't really explain it very well earlier, but his eyes will glow really widely. Well, they'll glow, but they'll also grow really big, and he'll just stare at you and dash in your direction. And I think he did like a ton of dashes at me here. If you're close by to him, he'll snap at you, so it's a good idea to try to stay far away, and then he'll also dig into the ground and just chuck those giant boulders at you. And if you just wait for those boulders to be in the air before you move, when you dodge them after they're in the air, you should be fine. Man, I love Mr. Fun Guy, but he's kind of annoying to get ranked up early on. It's also important to try to commit to your directional dodge. So don't like go left and right, back and forth. Just say, okay, I'm going to dodge to the right, so I'm going to dodge to the right. Otherwise, you tend to get hit. The game seems to really punish you if you try to dodge things badly. Alright, so this guy's almost dead again. There's not really a whole lot else to this video. I will continue on in the next one.
And now for my final enemy, the Mortz's pressure locks.